Hi, I'm Angel. Welcome to Autistic Moments. It's a new thing I just made up. I'm on day 6 of realizing that I have autism or am on the autism disorder spectrum or, match up with more of the listed traits than I previously thought. And this is very ironic to me because I have always known I'm odd and um, experienced many issues in my childhood, which I will probably go into in the future. And got a degree in special education, in which I did a big report on Temple Grandin, who at the time was the only professional with autism known. Um, and specialized in mental retardation and severe disabilities, studied autism quite a bit, always saw that I had a lot in common with a lot of the aspects on the list, but didn't feel like I had any real severe disabilities from it and didn't feel like I met many of the criteria on the list. So I always felt like, yeah, I'm in the neurodiversity ballpark, no big deal. Most of the people I know probably are to some extent. I think that's how most of us feel. And then a series of events has happened. I've had a downward spiral going on for quite a while now. I've had autoimmune issues since pre puberty, and they've flared up recently for perimenopause. And I lost my business, just kind of flopped, failed, belly flopped back in maybe 2015, slowly from 2010 to 2015. And then I just stopped opening my mail in 2017. And the few remaining relationships I had dissolved. The few I tried to start up fell apart very confusingly and traumatically. And then during the lockdowns of the pandemic, I found myself feeling just very traumatized, stressed out, reactivated a lot of the autoimmune issues in my body, and have for more than 10 years been adamantly trying to implement some mindset shifting things, getting some good coaching, trying a lot of things that just, I'm watching people around me succeed in all sorts of ways. And even though I know I'm smart and I know I'm hardworking and I know I'm cute and a lot of other things, I just don't seem to be succeeding in so many ways, and in fact, an increasing number of ways. And then my health started to really fall apart. And last year, my elbow bursa sac spontaneously ruptured after some series of escalating pain that I was just pushing through and working through, because I've lived with various pain and other sensations my whole life and really learned to just tune it out. So I was through a series of events looking again at various autism lists of criteria. Oh, I heard Elon Musk say that he had Aspergers, and I was just telling a friend of mine how I feel like he and I speak the same language. And so that caught my interest, and I had a good friend who is a successful architect who helped me in my music endeavors some time ago and then died not too long ago, a couple years ago now, named Kramer. Hey, Kramer. Um, and Kramer had Asperger's, which used to be a thing people said. Now Asperger's has been folded into autism. And my degree in special education, I studied quite a bit about the history of special education. My son and I were both labeled as gifted. That's in the special education spectrum. What I'm realizing now as I dive into more research through the lens of myself and my relationships, in particular with my mother and my last lover, both of whom I'm certain are also on the spectrum, and thinking about my son and I, and just all of this interconnected, because that's the way my brain works. I had some really, I think, valuable epiphanies and insights, which I'm sure I'm not the first one, but I feel like maybe I'm in a good position to articulate some of the things that could be vastly improved about the questions that are being given to analyze or diagnose people with autism. In particular, there's a piece. So, the epiphany that I want to share today, I'll be sharing much more. And so, follow me if you want to catch some of it. I tend to think circularly and in a web, and I'm getting ready to just embrace that more fully, because one of the things I've realized is that all this unconscious masking I've been doing has been creating and manifesting a lot of the autoimmune issues in my body. I finally figured out a big piece of it, at least. I figured out other big pieces. This is pretty significant, y'all, for me. So, woohoo, giving myself a little pause there. And let me know if that's valuable to you at all, because I'm pretty excited about it and I will be exploring it a lot more in a lot of different ways. But all that said, let me get back off of that tangent and over to taking things literally. This is a thing that you run into in a lot of the diagnosis interview type questions. Do you have a problem with jokes, or do you have a literal sense of humor, or do you take things literally? And the first, I don't know how many times, hundreds of times that I read that question, I thought, no, I don't. That's because I'm like retarded to it. And I don't mean retarded to be offensive. That's another topic for another conversation as well. But anyway, I mean like 2 standard deviations to the left. 2 standard deviations to the right, and some things like cuteness, look at these dimples, and self-absorption, but I'm also 2 standard deviations to the left in like my ability to not rub people the wrong way. And yeah, I like my oddness. I'm about to just embrace my oddness even more. I gotta say, it's coming. It's filling in. Where was I? Taking things literally. I took some notes because I took them in a circle though, so it's tough. So I may have to tackle this. I may have to tackle this topic again and just leave this as an introduction to it all. And this is part of the problem, isn't it? When I communicate, I think I communicate fairly effectively, maybe better in writing when I put my mind to it. It takes quite a bit of effort for me, and even though it may not seem like it, because words spill out of me effortlessly, and in fact, maybe even I need to spill words out of me and to hear words coming into my ear sometimes as a stimming or a soothing mechanism. I don't like that word stimming. Let's say soothing, self-soothing. It's closer, right? Yeah, I got a lot more things to say about a lot more things. I'm interested to know what kind of questions and comments that sparks in any of you. I'm prepared for some hate and some love. I'm here to propagate love, generate understanding and unity, and yeah, the expansion of consciousness. So let's get it on, shall we? Talk to you soon.